Hello, everyone. Welcome to Survival Jobs, a podcast in collaboration with BroadwayWorld. My name is Samantha Tuozzolo, and this is my amazing co-host, Jason A. Coombs. Hi,
hello,
Jason.
survivors. Hello, Samantha. Hello, survivors.
Hello, Samantha. Hello, survivors. Hello, Jason.
Yes. Hello, Dolly. No kidding.
That was good, Jay. I love when you put me on my toes. Wow, Jason, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute, but we've seen each other. We just haven't gotten a chance to record.
This is true. What's your temperature check today?
My temperature check today is a little bit like a hurricane. You know, it's like, but like not like a category 5, like a category like 2. It's like brewing a little bit. A lot of stuff's happening. I'm starting a new job this week, but it's just been it's like a slow start, but it's super cool, and I'm super thankful for opportunity to work in entertainment. So there we go. How about you?
That's amazing. I'm good. I'm in the same boat of like a million things are happening at once, and I'm just trying to stay calm and navigate it and, you know, go with the flow, trying to take things day by day, trying to just think about what's tomorrow and then maybe the next day, and then that's it. Because if I go even a week's out, I get overwhelmed.
Welcome to my life. Yes.
Yeah. So we just got to go day by day. Day by day. Day by day.
I love Godspell.
Thank you. I do want to chat a little bit about the Boston Gay Men's Chorus.
Yes.
I just want to chat about that real quick. I went a few weeks ago to see one of my closest friends, Johnny Vento. He is a member of the Boston Gay Men's Chorus, and they did a show called A Peacock Among Pigeons, which is a book. By the way, the book is banned in Florida, which makes no sense. So let's just say that.
I
can't even give that any of my breath. But the show was amazing. These men were so talented, and Johnny was Peter the Peacock.
There's not a thing that I can do or say. If happiness is anywhere, it's somewhere else. And so I know I have to go away.
He just was so good and talented, and
love that.
This choir is filled with, I don't even know how many men, but ranges of so many different ages. You know, it was so diverse, so many gay men, and I thought it was so beautiful, all of the performances. So I just want to give that a big shout out. I want to link it. If you can donate to the Boston Gay Men's Chorus, please go donate. These guys were so talented, and the show was just so well done. I saw it both nights, so I was really excited to do that. And then we did a little after party.
Double feature.
Me?
Yeah, double nights, 2 nights in a row. Love that.
Yeah, that's my boy. And he was Peter Peacock. You know, I got to show up. He was Peter Peacock. Oh, the only peacock in the show with his rainbow feathers.
Saw it. Yeah, I think he posted something on Instagram. I loved it.
Yeah, he was so good. I love him too. And we had a really nice little after party at this restaurant right near where the show was, called the Westland. So if you guys are in Boston, run to this place and check it out. Great food, great drinks. The manager was so great and accommodated a group of like 20 of us. So it was just a nice time. And I love seeing performances that are meaningful and important. And this was. So just got a little shout.
We always talk about, but you can be a performer anywhere. Like I know we focus a lot on, like, you know, people who are in Broadway or in film and TV, but like you don't have to be in New York or LA to be a performer. It doesn't have to be your full-time job. You know, like so many people are so talented, but they're leading a different life, but they still bring the arts into that life of theirs.
The composer of this show was a Broadway composer, and the choreographer worked on Broadway. Like, you know, you can bring Broadway anywhere. It doesn't only have to exist in New York, y'all.
Big facts.
Yeah. Jason, I want to ask you something because I saw you running around town with Usher. Like, I don't even know how I'm so lucky to talk to you, but you're pretty famous these days, and I just don't even know how to keep up.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to get to go to my friend Kabir. Shout out to my friend Kabir, who invited me to Las Vegas to see Usher's residency, and it was quite the time. And I think the whole week was great. I had a great time. I'd never been to Vegas before, so that was super exciting. One of my goals is to see all 50 states, so like Nevada is checked off. But I think the just really cool thing was we were invited to have dinner with Usher. It sounds so pretentious saying that, but how wonderful that was to speak with someone who's so accomplished and so iconic, and to have dinner with them and get to talk to him in a small setting, and we got to really just vibe. You know, it was no pretense. He's such a humble person, and I was just blown away by that. And we've been fortunate to be allowed into these spaces that we keep like pinching ourselves about being
Yeah.
in. And I always think of you in my head, like we belong there, we belong there. So
Yeah.
I am very fortunate and very happy that I got that experience. And you know, he shared so much knowledge. I was just taking notes like mentally the whole time, and then I had to journal about it after because it was incredible. He's incredible. That's all I'll really say.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah,
I mean, what an
thank
iconic
you.
like weekend. You're like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm having dinner with Usher. And I was like, huh?
yeah.
Who?
I know I'm the kind of person where I don't like to jinx things, which is stupid because like you can't really jinx things, but I'm just like I just want to wait till it's like happening. So I think I only told like you and like three other people, and then like I was still like, oh, is this gonna get canceled or is he not gonna show up? Like literally until we saw him, and I was like, okay, well this is happening. But you know, it's like when you go into these spaces and you meet these people, you begin to forget that they're superstars because like you're having a conversation, and like Kabir's mom was so kind and thoughtful, and she introduced us as artists because we are, you know.
I
So
was just
like it was
gonna say,
me and
yeah,
my friend
exactly.
Kabir and Anjali and Vaijanti, and she was like, these are artists, they're working artists. And like I think that really set the bar as well, that like we were coming from, obviously we're not like 8-time Grammy winners selling millions of records yet, but there was this kind of like understanding that like we're all in this together. And I think Usher really really was so into that. You know, he really
Yeah.
was like respectful of that. He didn't just like brush us off. He really took the time, and we
Yeah.
talked to him for a long time. So that was great.
That's amazing, G. Congrats. Onward. On to the next.
Thank you.
On to
On
the
to the
next Usher
next.
dinner, you know? And then, so Jason, I mean, we both, I feel like, have been doing a lot. So we did all these things. We were with the Bus and Gay Men, we were with Usher, and then we saw Parade.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We sure did.
Yeah. How incredible is that show, Samantha? You've seen it more than once.
I have seen it now 3 times, and I would see it three
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, so our guest today, Alex Grayson, who plays Jim Conley, like we'll talk a lot more about how Jason and I are feeling about this production with him. But this was just so, you know, by the way, lots of spoilers in this episode. If you don't know anything about
Yeah.
Parade and you're thinking about going to see it, just know we talk a lot about big spoilers of major plot
Because
points.
because it is a true story.
Correct.
It's a adaptation of an historical event that happened in the Jim Crow era in Marietta, Georgia. So it is a true story, and yeah, we really we couldn't really beat around, especially because his character is so integral to the whole narrative of what happened as well. So we had to kind of just like ask the questions and talk about it. So if you
And
don't
live
want any
through it.
spoilers, maybe see the show or read the show or read about the case first, and then come back and listen. Or if
Yeah.
not, then just enjoy the episode because it's a great episode.
And then
Probably
go
one of my
see the
favorites.
show.
And go
Yeah,
see the
it's a
show.
great
Yeah.
episode. Yeah, what I was gonna say is that, you know, I'm not running back to this show because I love the story. Like the story is, you
It's
know,
dark. It's heavy.
yeah. I was gonna say effed up. Like it's just so effed up. Like that's the first thing that comes, that's the way I feel. But the performances, the direction, the love, you know, I leave feeling sick and filled with love, which I say with Alex, but Yeah, I don't know. I think Michael Arden directed this in such a perfect way. The direction, I feel, is perfect. And it's tough. It's a tough story. How do you tell this story in a respectful way, in a way that's going to capture audiences to come? And I think they just did an excellent job. And the cast is excellent.
Yeah, it's just no, yeah, seriously. And you'll hear more about it, but there is like just the projections that they use because it is a historical show. So there's like these projections are happening that help you follow along with the story, which I appreciated. So I feel like a lot of those I guess it's like a mostly sung show. It's like sometimes hard to follow everything that's happening. So that was really helpful for me. And then like the way it was staged and the way like the actors kind of come in, like they bring us into their world so well. I was blown away by the direction, like you said, and it's just a stage production as well. And every person up there, obviously it's Broadway, so everybody's going to be super talented. But like, I didn't feel like anybody was phoning it in at all. Like everybody was in it from the first freaking note to the last, to the bows.
For sure, to the bows. And we were so excited and happy to see our past Survival Jobs guests, Michaela Diamond, who is such a star, and the girl is 23, which I was like, how are you 23? And this, I don't know, sophisticated, so mature. Like her performance is like not a 23-year-old. You know, she's iconic. And Douglas Lyons.
Douglas, yeah. We have two past guests, and now we have Alex too. It's so incredible.
We have Alex. So today's guest is Alex. And so we're watching the show and I kept saying, oh my God, Jason, that's our podcast guest. Like he's so unbelievable. Like he sings through the house. Like his voice fills every inch of the house.
Yeah, you felt it. Like, yeah, it's crazy. And his voice is incredible. His acting, I told him, I was like, you were kind of scary. Like, yeah. Without giving too much away, you were kind of scary. So, and I think he appreciated that. Like, I think he did his job. That's his job, right? It's like, I don't know, Samantha, was that weird to say?
I mean, it's what you felt, right? So, no.
Yeah.
As an audience member, that was your takeaway.
Yeah, and I think I say this in the episode too. The show just like lived in me. I couldn't like shake it off. You know, like I feel like I just felt so many emotions because like people are, how do I phrase this without like being too politically incorrect, but you know, sometimes the police don't always solve crimes and they frame, like people get framed who didn't commit a murder. And I know there's talk if Leo did it or not. But this happens still to this day. It happens all the time. There's a lot of true crime documentaries, and there's so many men, black men too, like especially that are charged for crimes that didn't commit, and like they don't want to like look at the evidence or like they try to get appeals, and like the court system won't give them appeals. Like it's just like so shitty, you know. The justice system is so shitty sometimes. And so that I think that was like in my head and my body for a lot of it. And I was like, wow, this is like 2023 and this is still like a constant thing that happens. It's wild.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
We highly recommend that you guys run and get a ticket. It's a limited run until August 6th. So the clock is ticking, y'all. You better run. And TikTok. Let's tell everyone about Alex and then jump into this episode. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good one, y'all. It's like one of my favorites, honestly.
Yeah, it was good. Alex Joseph Grayson, who's currently playing Jim Conley in Parade on Broadway. Some of his other Broadway credits include Into the Woods, Girl from the North Country, and A Bronx Tale. An off-Broadway credit includes Tony Stone, which one of our past guests, April Mathis, was also in. Yeah, I love when worlds collide from our podcast guests. Makes me feel really happy. Yeah. And his national tour credit of his is Once on This Island, which he tells us was directed by Michael Arden. And full circle, he's right back with Michael Arden. And enjoy this episode.
Enjoy. Thanks, y'all.
Awesome. Welcome to Survival Jobs, a podcast, Alex. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we are so excited to talk to you about survival jobs, about parade, about cast recordings, about give us all the tea today. So thank you for being here.
Have so much tea. Thank you. I will sign off on everything Jason said. Thank you for being here. We saw Parade last week, and I was telling you before we were recording that we are still in recovery. The show is iconic. The cast is iconic. You bring the house down, and we're so excited to talk all about it and learn about the process and how you're feeling. And everybody needs to go see it, but we'll talk way more about that later. But to kick it off, we're here on survival jobs. So let's start with a survival job question. Do you think that there's a certain judgment that surrounds the term survival jobs?
I do, and you know, it's funny in our small little you know, multi-billion-dollar industry that is entertainment. We throw that term around, but for people outside of the industry, it's just going to work. It's a normal thing. I'm the only performer in my immediate family, so a job is a job. And I think that there are efficient ways to make money when you have another passion that you're working your way towards in a career, and there are less efficient ways to make money, and it's as simple as that. And can you enjoy the experience, or is it survivable enough for you to utilize as a survival job? That's sort of where I put it mentally.
I dig that. Do you have like a favorite survival job in your past?
Yes, I recently, actually last summer, shortly before I started doing Into the Woods on Broadway, I was working at Ellen's Stardust Diner.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
In New York City. And
iconic.
it is iconic, and some of the most incredible performers are working there. And I mean, these are people who actively are auditioning for theater and TV and film, and people leave and they come back because, believe it or not, you can make more money doing that than you can on Broadway in some situations.
Actually, though,
yeah,
servers bring in that dough.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things. I've worked at a bunch of different restaurants, but it's my first restaurant job where I felt like people were really happy about being at work. And it's this strange combination of, you know, you're checking off the box of being a performer. People are there. Everyone loves the performances. The people that come to eat, you know, they forget about the menu in front of them, and they never know what they're going to order. After you sing a song and you go to the table, they're like, "Oh, you're amazing! You're amazing! Oh my God, can we take a picture? This is my daughter. This is my son. They sing blah 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 blah." And you have to get through all of that before you ask, you know, what would you like to eat this afternoon or morning or whatever. And it's, you know, it's a bit of a struggle too, because you're singing a song or maybe two songs every hour, and you might be there for 6.5 hours, and you know, you have to pace yourself because you don't want to lose your voice, and you're talking to people. So that's a whole technical side of things that you have to figure out and navigate. But it's that instant gratification of live performance, of people just showing you right away that they appreciate the work that you're doing, your artistry. And then you go do the business side of waiting tables, and then you make really, really good money. And then there's an environment of people who seem to really enjoy what they're doing. And it's, you know, it's not a job that people are, it sucks to show up at work and have a bunch of people in a bad mood. And I am fortunate enough to not be in a situation where that's the case, but I know that's normal for a lot of people. So that was a really, really great gig. And I just started working there for the first time this past summer. And what a gift. And if you're a singer or an actor that's trying to break into the industry, or you have dreams of Broadway, or just pursuing your art as a performer, try and get in there right away, because it's a great gig, and it's a great gig. Ellen started.
How long did you work there?
I think I was there for like 2 months or a month and a half before I left.
And then he booked. And then he booked.
Yes.
What was your go-to song? Sorry, I'm asking like all these off-script questions.
Go-to song at the diner. My favorite song to sing is "Lips of an Angel" by Hinder. I don't want to age myself, but yes, because nobody else is singing that one for some reason. I don't know.
Weren't you the understudy for Jack in Into the Woods?
Yes. Well, I was one of the understudies for Jack.
Yeah, I think one of the like go-to songs at Ellen's, correct me if I'm wrong, is "Giants in the Sky."
Yes, no? I've heard "Giants in the Sky" there at Ellen's. I've heard many things. There, anything under the weather. You'll there. Yes.
I feel like every time I step foot into Ellen's, it's "Giants in the Sky," like instantly. I'm like, where am I? I do, by the way, to sidebar, I love going to Ellen's. If it's like late night in the city, I'm like, hello? Because I have a couple of friends that work there. I'm like, are you there? I'll come have a milkshake. It's just fun. It's so much fun.
My first professional performing gig was for Disney Cruise Line. So I worked for the Walt Disney Company, and I was the Lion King singer. And that was right out of college. And I think the Walt Disney Company, as we all know, they have mastered the art of entertainment, monetizing arts entertainment, and bringing it to audiences efficiently in a big way. They've figured it out. And also just how to run that operation, how to put it on a cruise ship, put it in park, put it on a stage. Disney's everywhere. We all know Disney. And that experience was very formative for me, because it sort of taught me about standards of, operating like a theater contract or working with performers. And as far as like, if that is the measuring stick compared to Ellen's, they have really figured out that operation, because it's a great experience. No matter where you're coming from, walk in there, wait in the line. It's like going to a theme park. It is that kind of experience. So I don't work at Ellen's currently. I mean, I might still be on the roster, but they didn't pay me for this ad.
You're a little busy to
just
fit
a
that
little.
in.
Yeah.
I mean, but by the way, not to continue the Ellen's talk, but that line is always wrapped around. Always. Yeah. I'm like, my goodness.
Always.
Sometimes I'm skipping
earned that reputation.
Yeah. Okay, so Ellen's was your favorite survival job for a lot of amazing reasons. Do you have a least favorite survival job? One maybe with not so fun stories?
The worst job that I ever had was at a restaurant. I'm not going to name names. A restaurant that at the time was right across the street from New York City Center. And I will just say that a combination of personalities, management, lack of support for new employees, bad attitudes, it was not great. And the money wasn't good either. How about that?
And
the food was just so.
Yeah, a lot of negatives don't make it positive.
And this is New York City.
Yeah, we need good food and we need good everything.
Shame.
How iconic then you were at City Center. Did that feel crazy? Like, oh my God, I used to have my worst survival job across the street and now I'm performing at City Center.
It did feel strange. And I have also seen a show at City Center, and I just remember being in the audience and thinking, wow, everything, they're so far away on that stage. And then having the experience being on stage and like looking out there and trying to see the people. You can't see the people. It's ridiculously large. Yeah, it's really, really cool. This whole past year has been it's been very surprising how quickly a bunch of things have lined up and connected into other wonderful opportunities. And I just feel very, very fortunate.
I love that for you. That's amazing. Yay. Congratulations.
By the way, well deserved. Again, you bring the house
for sure. Down. Yeah, we
never stop saying. I get like
Samantha and I were like shook it.
Yeah.
But
Jason, we get him on the podcast.
I know. It was
like,
it was
lucky
wild.
Are we?
And you were kind of scary, to be honest. I will say that.
Oh, okay.
Just that second. I don't want to give any spoilers in case people don't know, but I was like a little like, ooh, that means you're incredibly good at your job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's the thing. My intention in my process in playing Jim Conley, I never wrote down anywhere or thought be scary. So it's like a side effect of whatever I'm pursuing.
Yeah.
Great.
Love that. Can you take us a little bit into your audition process for Jim Conley? Like, what was that like for you? And give us all the details. Did you have how many callbacks you had?
Yeah, it was really, I want to say it was like a 2-step thing. I submitted a video, and then I had an in-person callback, and I was not sure at first whether or not I was going to be able to do the show because it was a direct conflict with Into the Woods. And
oh yeah,
you know, there's so many reasons historically why productions haven't gone with one actor and they went with somebody else. And a lot of times it's something as simple as they're on another contract and they can't get out for whatever reason, and they can't make it right now. And then you have a preliminary production of something, you don't know if it's going to go to Broadway. Like everyone was hoping, let's just follow in the footsteps of Into the Woods and let's have a direct, but there was no guarantee of that until we had those contracts in hand. And I just remember before even working on the audition and getting ready to like play this role, I had walked past City Center, or I'd biked past it, and I saw a poster for Parade, and that it was coming soon, and Michael Arden was directing, and I was like, oh, how cool. I worked with Michael on the Once on This Island tour in 2020. Yeah. We were in Las Vegas and we shut down in March. That's when everything kind of came
3 years ago.
Oh my God. It's really, really wild how that time has flown away. But I saw Michael and I was like, oh my gosh, Michael's doing Parade. And one of my close friends, I had actually seen him in a production of Parade at what is now the Rev. I think that was, I'm forgetting the old name of the theater, so I'm not even going to try to say it. But they did a production of Parade, and I was just blown away by the show. And I thought, Jason's music was so amazing in that show, and it's so heartbreaking, and it really kind of it feels risky to tell a true story, because that means that somewhere someone is still processing these events and whatever the trauma of that is. But I just felt like, well, this will be a cool thing that happens that I won't be a part of because I'm working. And I got an email asking if I would come and audition, and I was like, I mean, I'll come and audition, but I it's gonna be some begging to get out of the current situation. But it worked out because I was an understudy at the time, and to not be able to do the show would mean that I was being held on to in order to really just be a support piece for another show, someone else's security policy and insurance policy. And that was not the case. Luckily, they let me out. I did the show, and here we are. And
yes,
I knew that it was going to be magical when I saw that Michael was involved, because he always puts together a great team of people. And here we are. We're doing magic, and it's really magic. It's a really great group of actors, and I love that we spend so much time watching each other, because it's very, very educational
Yes.
for me.
Yeah.
I get to see everybody's process and the little changes and things that they do. I'm off stage a few times during the show, so I'm kind of like listening in, and I'm not seeing everything, but for the most part, I get to see people's journey. It's amazing.
Which is amazing. I mean, the direction of this show is just flawless. I was like, this is directed beautifully. He is incredible. Just to continue the Michael Arden conversation.
And the stage design with the projections, like, oof.
We're Parade's
So well
biggest
done.
fans, I think.
Yeah, yeah. We were in the like third row.
I mean, the stage was on top of us. We were so close.
Oh yeah.
I think you spit on me, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
I was like, you're pressing my big face and my big hair, like
my big face. Yeah. Okay. So Jim Conley.
Now, Mr. Frank, he had a good time. Man knows how to have a good time. Yeah. I'm gonna take that woman. We're gonna ride like lightning. We're gonna roll like thunder.
He's a real life person. So what was your process like preparing for this role? Who's a real person that's different than, any other parts you've played? Second part of that question is, it's speculated that he is the guilty one. He committed this murder. Mm-hmm. Sorry, spoilers. How does that feel also playing this person who probably may have committed this crime? That's a two-part question.
Yeah, well, so first and foremost, this case is I mean, all the information is in the public domain.
Right.
So people come in with all sorts of research and everything, but I personally, for me, my job as the actor is to only take the information that's in that book, in that libretto, and in the score, and work from there. And the rest of the information that's not there is only to support how I live and breathe in that space, because there's the other information is that's within the minds of the audience, and I know this story itself is really doing a lot of work on its own. Yeah. And then there's the other tricky side of it is we are telling a story in that, this is not said in the play, but this is a story that takes place in the Jim Crow South, and navigating that for me personally as a Black man, I have to keep this very much in a place of play, and exploration with the other actors in the space. Because I don't think it's really going to serve me or anyone else to try and explore the historical accuracies of that time period, because I think we would need more time. I think that would be a different production to really explore that. And that while there are horrors to this story in itself, we're not really scratching the surface of what it truly means to be in that time period as a Black person. And if you noticed, we're not the focus of this story. The story couldn't happen without the Black people in it, but it is not centered on the Black company members. So it actually alleviates a lot of responsibility for me. It actually frees me up to go in and really work with what's happening right in front of me, and work with these words and bring them to life in the way that I feel is most truthful.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's intense. I mean, transported back there, because like watching it, like there are lots of Confederate flags, and I feel like the way it's staged is like you're in it. At least I felt like I was in it, because like the audience, the actors go into the audience.
Oh yeah,
spoilers a little bit, so it makes you really feel like you're in there. And I had a lot of emotions after. Obviously, I remember Sam, I was like, oh, I can't even process. Like it took me like until the next day to kind of shake it off. And that doesn't always happen to see a show in general for me personally, but like that was just so heavy on my whole body.
Yeah.
They give you lots of kudos. So you do that 8 times a week.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Jason was like, "Don't talk to me about this show until tomorrow." He was like, "I can't talk about this anymore today."
Yeah.
One thing I will say is we have done a lot of work with our creative team to cultivate a space of joy, especially in the rehearsal process. Those flags were actually we replaced those Confederate flags with rainbow flags in the rehearsal room.
I saw this.
Oh wow, yeah.
Which was cool, but I think it was also purposeful because for a lot of the company members, the pride that flag represented. I know what Michael said, and I'm giving away secrets, but he said,
give them all away.
That sense of pride be the same thing that appears on stage, even when you have that other flag. That flag is really this, and it means that, and that's what that pride is to these people.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, and we joke and we laugh so much because I think it's actually important to almost do more work to cultivate that joyful presence while handling such a dark story about America. I think it's necessary.
Yeah.
100%. I don't know if you didn't do that, how you could get through doing this 8 times a week.
Yeah.
It's so heavy, and it's not too far off. It's I wish we could say that this happened this many years ago and things are so different. But as we know, it's not.
Yeah, and to keep the heavy train for one more question, and then we'll lighten it up again. It's probably like our heaviest episode, I feel like. But at the first preview, as we all know, there was a neo-Nazi group. We're not going to say the name of the group, but they protested outside of the theater. I guess my question is, without sounding stupid, I'm sorry, but like, what did it feel like knowing that those people are out there and you're telling such an important story that's like so relevant to today still? And why do you think the story should be still told today in 2023?
Well, it's funny because I walked past them on the way to work, and I don't know the name of the group, but
it doesn't matter.
I think I really felt myself go, huh, these people actually showed up, because we had spoken about, sort of in an ambiguous sense, how this would affect people and how some people would be upset and there would be a lot of noise, but we never really talked about how that would manifest specifically in like a tangible way. And when that happened, I was like, okay, I see. This is a possibility with doing a show that people don't feel good about. Like it's something that I think people kind of wanted brushed under the rug and left alone. And here we are digging it up because it's not resolved, and it's beautiful music, and people are gonna come pay the ticket price to come see it on Broadway and see Ben Platt and Michaela and me and everybody else. But I was just sort of like, okay, this is how powerful this is. Also, it was like 3 people, or it was like 3 people, and they were surrounded by a few police officers here and there, and I didn't feel threatened, but I also felt like, wow, everything is an opportunity for someone to get coverage somewhere. And what we found out later on when we had our safety meeting is these people, the leader of this group, is on social media, and he looks for situations like this to get his picture taken and get tagged in things, because it's a business, and he monetizes this stuff. He's a content creator. He's an influencer. Like,
yeah,
I won't call myself an influencer. I'm sure I've influenced someone, but I'm not. You know, I haven't taken on that title yet. But it was weird, and it was very surreal because I've never been part of something that had those implications. You know, and you're saying this is the heaviest episode. I mean, it's a pretty heavy show. You know,
yeah.
And to speak to the relevance of the piece, the case is unresolved. There are people that, I haven't read that information about Jim Conley, but many people have told me, oh, it looks like he actually did it. That's out there.
God. I was like, did I like drop that bomb to you?
Oh no,
sorry.
No, but I've heard that before. And there are also people that are still down there in Marietta that think Leo Frank did it. There's publications on all these reasons that he was actually guilty, but we're telling the truth of the fact that 2 people died in this incident. A girl was murdered, and a man was murdered, and they were both crimes. And we're putting that out there and letting people process that information.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And it's being put out there in such a delicate way and with such taste that it's like, I've never thought I would say like, oh my God, I want to see this show so many times because it is so heavy, but I do. I will watch it every single night because it's just also filled with so much love. And I think for me, when I walked away from that, I was like, wow, like I feel really crazy and sad and sick, but also I'm filled with so much love because of the love of these 2 main characters. Thank you so much for being so open about all of this. Can can we turn it a little bit and get off a little of the heavy train and talk some fun? Do you want to add one more thing?
Well, no, I was going to say that thing that I haven't said is, what anti-Semitism it never really declined, and it's on the rise, along with a lot of hate that's towards our AAPI community members, like just hate crimes across the board against different groups of people are just on the rise. And anytime you sort of shed a light on that specifically, the waking up from sort of just being complicit to those things, it's just jarring for people. And I think working in the arts is like just a fast track to becoming aware of all the work that really needs to be done in the world, and not necessarily a lot of power to create change, but really just shed a light on these things. And it's kind of a hard position to be in, to just carry this knowledge or sort of trudge through all of this trauma, but not really have a solution,
Right.
But it's important, I think.
It's definitely important. You said
it's so important.
You said something in that answer that triggered me to say, Viola Davis, we love Viola. Jason, Viola fan. She says something, Jason, jump in if I'm butchering this, but she's like, I'm an artist, and thank God I am, because it's the only career that knows how to live a life. So you're saying, performing this puts you on a fast track. But it is true. As an artist, you dig into so many different stories, whether true or made up, that teach you and help you grow and as a human, and hopefully can spread it to everyone.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for triggering to talk about Viola.
And you guys are giving so many lessons, because I didn't know much about the case, and I spent the whole next day reading everything I could, and the next morning, and really, really diving in and just learning about the history of that time, because I didn't even realize there was such a large population of Jewish people in Georgia that fled after this happened. You know, like that was something that I didn't know. So like, thank you for just doing the work that you're doing. You know, it's important. You know, it's very important. Yeah, of
course.
And to now get off the heavy train just a bit.
Choo-choo.
Second try.
This episode's coming out the same day as the cast recording, and we were chatting a little bit about this before the show. So can you tell us, because Jason and I were like, wait, what's up with the whole process of cast recordings? Like, can you tell us a little bit about it and what that was like recording it?
It was really cool. I mean, the schedule of it all, and this is the way that it always is, because it's Broadway is a big rush. Hey producers, it's always a big rush because you know we're doing everything on a budget, whatever budget people come up with, and luckily we had a long day to try and get everything done. It started off as like we're going to try to get it done in 2 days, and then it came down to 1 day. But it was amazing. Really amazing crew over there at Power Station where we recorded this thing. Jason Robert Brown was there. Tom, our who is in charge of all of our orchestration stuff, vocal arranging. He was there guiding and conducting us. It was just really, really cool. And
so it was like the whole orchestra there too? Like
yeah, the orchestra.
You guys singing it live?
Yeah, we had two floors that we were working on simultaneously. So we had the band downstairs, and some of the soloists were singing downstairs in the same studio as the band, and then we had ensemble vocalists upstairs. It was really, really cool. It was great.
1 day. Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this right now, people, go and get the cast recording.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can buy it everywhere. I don't know. Do you know?
I think it's gonna be amazing, and it will be available everywhere you can stream music.
Boom.
On the Thursday the 23rd. Thursday the 23rd, Parade on Broadway, cast album releases. Check it out anywhere you stream music. You're going to love it.
I mean, you sure are.
You got to go see it, y'all.
Wait till you hear Alex, sing for his life.
If you're into that.
If you're into that. Alex, this has been such a joy. I know it's your day off, and we're ecstatic that you took some time to chat with us on your only day off of the week. So Jason and I are so grateful, and it's been amazing. So, surprise, we always end the show with a super fun game, just because sometimes we get heavy. We don't get that heavy, but sometimes we get heavy. We like to bring it back to light and fun and keeping things joyful and inspiring, because that's what we love to preach here. But before we jump into the game, do you have any advice that you'd like to give to some of our listeners who are artists that may be feeling stuck in their survival jobs and are just struggling to feel inspired or get out of their survival job, maybe?
I think what I would say is don't be afraid to dream while you're awake, and really be clear about what you want. Like we're so capable of these incredible things as human beings. We can do so many amazing things if we put our mind to it. But I think the biggest barrier is fear, or thinking that it's out of reach. But I think we have to have the willingness to explore our wildest dreams and write those things down and really see what it would take to make those things come true.
You're a manifester, huh?
Yes.
Love that. So are we.
Yeah.
Incredible. Cool. And before we jump into the game, also, I was just curious because I always just like to ask people this, like, what's inspiring you? Like any kind of art, movies, music, podcast, anything that's like feeding your soul artistically besides this big show that you're in 8 times a week?
I mean, I love watching other performances. I love watching actors and TV and movies. Okay, I just watched a movie last night. It was like the night before my day off, so I can stay at right?
Yeah.
But I watched this movie. It's on Shudder. This is a streaming app that has a bunch of horror movies.
Horror, yes.
I love horror movies.
Same.
There's a movie it's like kind of low budget. It's called Deadstream. And it's this guy, he's playing, and this is like a found footage movie, by the way. And I don't like those kinds of movies.
Yeah.
As a rule, but I watched this. This guy is a streamer on a made-up streaming platform, and he goes to a haunted house, and the whole movie is him. And I think there are some other actors that appear in there playing, because there's ghosts and stuff that appear later on. But he's got all of his gear on. He's got a front-facing camera. He has a camera on him. He's got like little GoPros that he's placing on things. And I was just watching this movie, more watching the actor than watching the film, and I was just blown away by the amount of stuff that this person was responsible for, that they did so seamlessly. And it's like, honestly, it was one of the greatest performances I've ever seen on camera.
Gosh.
It was like, they're making this movie themselves. They've got all of their gear. They're doing all of the stuff. They're talking to people on a live stream on the film, because people are commenting, and he's engaging with the followers. He's doing ads for products.
I'm dead.
But I was just blown away by this performance, and it's one of those things that maybe a lot of people won't pay attention to because it's on Shudder. It's the low budget horror movie or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, as someone who loves the genre and loves actors, I think that's just incredible. I love seeing stuff like that. I love things that are sort of like out of the box, but really, really well done and made with care. And I like more stuff like that.
It's called Deadstream?
Deadstream.
Ooh, yeah. I'll check it out. I will.
You might hate it.
Loves the horror.
I love horror. Are you a Scream fan? Did you see Scream 6?
I haven't seen Scream 6. I'm not a huge slasher movie fan, but I do plan to see the movie. All
right. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after you see it.
Okay.
Follow-up episode to talk about it.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to watch Deadstream. Cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. Love a horror fan. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so let's do our game.
Are we ready?
Am I explaining this one today? Or are you explaining this game?
Do you want to?
Sure.
I personally love this game. I think it's going to be
fun. So the super fun game is, since you've recently been in a Sondheim musical and now my personal favorite Jason Robert Brown musical, we thought it'd be a really fun game to play a Sondheim lyric or JRB lyric.
Okay.
So we're going to read a lyric, and then you're going to say Sondheim or JRB.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I mean, there's no penalty for losing, right? Or is there a prize?
There might be a prize, but we'll only tell you at the end.
Cool. I don't need a prize. I love games. Okay. What?
Yeah, it's just fun. There's no stakes.
Okay.
You'll get the prize, I think, whether you win or lose. So don't worry.
We're playing for money. Okay. What?
Yeah, BroadwayWorld will send it back. prize money.
All right.
Okay, Jason, I'll kick it off.
Sure.
Okay, Alex, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Number 1. And it's fun to deceive when you know you can leave, but you have to be wary.
That's Into the Woods.
Correct!
Yeah.
Off to a great start.
Yes, 1 for 1. Okay. Okay, second one. I had a house while you were gone, a house with silver shutters and a driveway laid in marble, and thousands of rooms to fill.
His camera froze up.
Oh, was I frozen?
No, I'm sorry. I don't. JRB?
Yes!
It is.
Yeah.
I'd give it all for you from Songs for a New World.
Oh, okay. Great.
House while I was gone.
I know, try not to sing it because I love that song so much.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
So 2 for 2, you still got it. Okay, number
Yeah.
3. Most friends fade or they don't make the grade. New ones are quickly made. Some of them worth something too. I think also like our delivery, it's like messing it up.
That sounds like a Sondheim lyric.
Correct. It's Merrily. It's Hey Old Friend, Merrily We Roll.
Merrily, okay.
In honor of an iconic production coming to Broadway.
Yes, and a movie.
And the movie. That is true. Wow.
All right. Laughing and talking and holding hands, slipping all the way to first base, but everything Charlotte says is a lie. You better not believe her.
Okay.
I'm dead. I don't know that one, but
I'm gonna go ahead and say Jason Robert Brown.
yes.
Like,
It can't be true from 13 the musical. I've never seen that.
Okay.
one.
I have never seen 13.
think it's on
it's
Netflix,
on
right?
Netflix. Yeah, it's also on Netflix. Also, that's my favorite and like maybe the only song I know from 13. They're like, everything Charlotte says is a lie.
Oh
It's
my
like
goodness.
It's actually
Okay.
a bop. Such a good
So
bop.
sassy.
Yeah, they're like
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Ariana Grande was just a child in that show, and now she is a superstar.
Oh yeah. See, I'm sure her performance was transcendent.
I'm sure. One can only imagine. Okay, next. Last question and then a bonus.
Okay.
She's a wicked one. She'll deceive you with her fancy gowns and her fancy airs and her mischief.
She's a wicked one.
Mm-hmm.
Can you say that again?
She's a wicked one. She'll
She's a-
deceive you with her fancy gowns and her fancy airs and her mischief. If you need a hint, I can give you a good hint.
I think that's Sondheim.
It is.
Yeah.
Sweeney.
Yes.
That's the beggar
Yeah.
woman. Mischief, city on fire.
Okay.
I love this game.
Oh, Sweeney Todd.
Yes.
You know, can I just say, and I'm
Yeah.
so sorry because I feel like I'm delaying the game, but I just want to say, like, there's a lot of I don't know a lot of musicals. I shouldn't say this.
Say it.
There's just a lot of musicals that I don't know, and I've heard a lot of people singing stuff in New York. So some of these songs I've heard at like piano bars and stuff, but
Like 54 below.
I think I have like 54 Below, the Duplex, but I think I have a good idea of a way to figure out if we're talking about Sondheim or Jason Robert Brown. I think I know enough about it.
I
Do
mean,
we have another question?
You've gotten them all already, and now there's
Yeah.
a bonus. So you already have 100%, and now you'll just take it to the next level if you get the bonus, which I think you will.
Okay, last one, bonus.
All right.
But the minute I first met you, I could barely catch my breath. I've been standing for days with the phone in my hand, like an idiot, scared to death.
I can give you an amazing hint.
Give him
Okay.
the hint.
I just saw you in an interview say that this was one of your favorite songs. This is why it was the bonus.
Oh,
On a night, somebody interviewed you. and said,
yeah. This is This is Shiksagan.
Correct.
So, great. The reason
great
when it gets to that part where he's saying all this stuff really fast, that's sort of where I check out. But I really love the chorus.
You know what? You got a 100+%.
Alex, MVP.
You get a big ol' invite to our season 3 premiere party. No idea when it is.
Oh, amazing!
VIP invite.
Amazing.
We'll put you on the VIP list.
Yeah, we'll put you on the VIP list.
Yes,
for sure.
Okay, great.
Congratulations on the game. Isn't that game fun?
It is. It is.
You killed it.
You really did. I
would have got one of those, maybe 2.
No, Jason. I think you would have killed it.
I love Songs for New World. That's my favorite, one of my favorite musicals.
Me too. Stars on the Moon all day. That was my go-to singing song because it doesn't require a lot of singing talent. It's just this one couple of notes and you're just telling a story. And so it's my go-to. I was like, I can definitely do this one.
Yeah. King of the World.
Oh, yes.
Solid song too.
Excellent one as well.
Oh, I bet you've killed that. It's on YouTube. I'm sure you've done that before, haven't you?
I have not done that one.
You haven't? Oh my god!
A little bit too high.
Got it.
Wow. Well, we'll take it down. We'll take it down a little bit.
I appreciate performances of this. Things are nicer to listen to than
yeah. Alex, this was so much fun. Thank you again. Thank you times a million. Jason
Seriously.
and I are big Alex fans, so we've been gushing over you. I feel like this whole episode, we're like, we think you're so good. We love Parade. Can you tell our listeners where they can follow you and keep up with you on any of the social medias?
Yes. Oh, like where specifically?
Yeah. What's your handles? And how to follow you?
Alex JG Sings. Or you can just type in Alex Joseph Grayson on Instagram. That's pretty much like the only place that I'm really active. I think my Facebook is still alive for family.
Everyone says that. Our last 5 guests have said the same thing.
Yeah. Well, look, it's 2023 and we're moving along, and soon we're all going to be in the metaverse. So, did you see Ready Player One?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we're going. Everybody, the only life to live is going to be in VR. And
yikes! I don't know if I'll watch it. I think that will give me anxiety now that you said that.
It's Steven Spielberg. Is that Steven Spielberg?
Yeah. It's Steven Spielberg. Lena Waithe's in that too. I love her.
I love Lena.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, want to drop our handles in case people are just tuning in because they're Alex fans, which obviously they should be.
Sure.
Big obvious.
You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Survival Jobs Pod. We're on Facebook for some reason. Survival Jobs and Podcast.
For some reason.
So that my mom can reshare the episodes. That's probably pretty much it.
Queen Dawn. And then you can send us an email at survivaljobspod@gmail.com. And if you want to find me and Samantha personally, I'm Jason A. Coombs on all the things. I don't know why I have a pencil in my hand. I'm Jason A. Coombs.
I like the prop. I'm here for the prop station.
Yeah. And then Sammy Toots over here.
Yay. And
Alex,
also go see Parade. Run to see Parade at the Jacobs Theater until August 6th. Is that true?
August 6th. That is very cool. 24 weeks only on Broadway. Parade on Broadway. The event of 2023.
Thank you. That was excellent.
Perfect promo right there, Alex.
Perfect. We should also hire you to be on their PR team. Hello, Ellie. Any openings?
Survival Job. A podcast.
Yay, thank you so much again.
I'm obsessed. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Okay, well, have a wonderful evening. Let's do it all again soon.
Let's do it at the season 3 premiere party.
Great.